Hello once more. Now I'm sure you're all, after that last video, I'm sure you're all running out trying to find your own pair of Panasonic headphones. Look like you're from Mars. Time for something more serious. Some music. A few records. Hot Tuna. Hop Corey. Funny name. Hot Tuna is a spin-off Jefferson Airplane. Jorma Kaukonen, the guitar player from the original Jefferson Airplane, and Jack Cassidy, the bass player. Interesting albums they recorded back in the late 70s, in the 70s and early 80s. Jeff Hughes. Jeff Hughes is a Canadian artist, recording artist. This was recorded in Montreal. I don't know anything about it. I think the cover is kind of ugly, actually, but I remember the album. It's on Warner Brothers, Canadian Warner Brothers. This is from the late 60s. It's Willie Hutch, Soul Portrait. I know nothing about this. The Jam, The Gift, 1982. This is another album from the 60s. I've never seen or heard of this one before. Cook E. Jar. It's called Pledging My Love. He does a lot of covers of 60 hits like Do You Believe in Magic, Knock on Wood. And apparently he's big in Las Vegas or something. A couple of kind of 70s jazzy kind of albums. Larry Coryell, Steve Conn, guitar. This one here, Steve Conn, Tightrope. I always like to kind of like the cover on this one. Some more guitar music. Leo Kottke. And this one is called Dreams and All That Stuff. It's on Capitol Records. And this is a Leo Kottke compilation of his Capitol recordings. It's a double album. It's called The Best of Leo Kottke. Great, brilliant 12-string guitarist, acoustic guitarist. Lena Lovich. That one is called New Toy. It's on Stiff Records, distributed in North America on Epic Records, Columbia. The first Marshall Tucker album, Capricorn Records, early 70s, and this is a very good record. I'm not a huge fan of Southern rock, well, I like Skinner and Smallman Brothers and stuff, but this one actually has almost a prog element to it, and it's really nice. I don't know what their later albums, whether they're as good as this, but this is a very good album. I bought this one for the cover. Miko, the Wizard of Oz, cartoon cover. It might be dance music or disco kind of music. This is a direct-to-disc recording. It's a numbered direct-to-disc recording from the late 70s. Tracy Nelson. It's called Doing It My Way. Now, Tracy Nelson was the singer in a group called Mother Earth, late 60s, early 70s. I think she was kind of like Linda Ronstadt in a way, but didn't have a lot of commercial success. This is a punk album. I only bought it because I'd never seen it and it was kind of cheap. So it's called No Effects. It's called 22 songs that weren't good enough to go on our other records. New wave album on Arista. It's called The Original Mirrors. I think 1980. Orleans. This one is called Let There Be Music, and it contains their hit song Dance With Me. This is a nice album. It's a Canadian group from the 60s called the Poppers. This is Ellis Island. It's the Poppers' second album. Poppers came out of Toronto, and they played the Monterey Pop Festival. Skip Prokop, the drummer, was a member of the Poppers, and he went on in Canada to form Lighthouse, which were a pretty big band here in the early 1970s. And like I said, this is their second album on Verve Records, out in New York. Great country rock band, Poco. This is their album Cowboys and Englishmen. It's from the early 80s. This is a funny album, funny Funny title, funny cover. Billy Preston. It's one of his very early albums, maybe his first album. It's called The Wildest Organ in Town, which is a great title for an album. See, he has short hair there. This is probably from about 1965, recorded in Los Angeles. It's before he was involved with the Beatles. Canadian album, Canadian band, who are still touring and playing, I think, here. It's Prism, Small Change. This one's from the early 80s. This is an interesting compilation album. It's on A&M. It's called Propaganda. It has a lot of the early 80s new wave artists and live recordings. Stuff that you won't find in any of their other albums. See Chairman Mao there playing guitar on the cover. It's a different China back in those days than it is now. And the last one, this album, I picked it up as a beautiful cover. Really nice artwork on the cover of this. By a woman by the name of Judy Pulver, and as far as I know it's the only album she recorded. I picked it up, I looked at the players, and it's John Guerin on drums and Carol Kay on bass, and I don't know if they've ever played on bad records, those two. Thank you for watching, everyone.